Congratulations, your lovely mare, your heart horse perhaps, has finally delivered her foal. You can probably take a deep breath and relax. I know I do every time. But now what? This video is part of the mare care series where I focus on the mare part of the equation. I will cover what you can expect in the first few hours, days, and weeks after a mare has delivered her foal. And I will mostly base this on my own 20 years or so of experience breeding and raising foals, and I will tell you what I have observed pretty consistently and what I now consider normal. Let's get started just when the foal has been born. It just slipped out on the mare. Generally, I find that the mare will take a breather. Sometimes it's 5 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it's quite a bit longer. I had one fall asleep and take a nap for 35 minutes. Honestly, I thought she was dead. But generally, they are in a little bit of a quiet mode, a bit of a daze after that big effort, and they rest. Perfectly normal. However, the movement of the foal behind them will bring them back to reality. They also continue to have contractions until the placenta is expelled, so it's not a complete relaxing sleep. Now, some people will bring a bit of food or a mash to put right in front of the mare just to keep her quiet and down. But you know what? It really depends on the mare. For some, that just encouraged them to get up. Personally, I try not to interfere. I just keep them quiet and I let the mare and the foal just recover a bit from the birth. Besides, blood is still being moved from the placenta to the foal, so I think it's just best to let them be. By the way, I describe in detail what happens to the foal once the delivery is underway in this video, if you want to watch it next. As she's lying down, she will definitely strain her neck and try to reach and touch her foal, smell it, and sometimes they will nicker to each other. It's absolutely charming. But eventually the curiosity gets the best of them and they stand up to get closer to them and start cleaning them up. When she does, you will notice the birthing membrane hanging out from her. Now, to be clear, that's not the placenta yet. How do you know? Well, to keep things simple, the foal is wrapped in 2 bags. One is very thin and whitish and comes out with the foal. The placenta is a much thicker bag. It's opaque and red or mauve in color. So, when your mare gets up, hanging out of her will be the pale white sac, and sometimes it drags on the ground. Personally, I like to tie it up with baling twine and attach it about to the middle of the tail. If you do that, wear gloves. It's slippery and not entirely pleasant to handle, but it would be better if she didn't step on it or drag it around. Now, you don't need to jump in and do that right away. In fact, I think it's important to let the mare get up, go to the foal, start licking it and getting acquainted with it. Your mare should continue having contraction until the actual placenta is passed. And if all goes well, it usually comes out within 30 minutes or so, maximum an hour or 2. Now, during that time, you can expect her to be a little bit distracted by those contractions. She will walk around, paw, maybe lie down a few times. You will see her belly contracting. That will happen until she actually passes it. When she does passes it, quietly go and pick it up and put it in a bucket. You want to look at it later. Okay, as an aside here, if you do not witness the birth, you have to find the placenta. If you do not find it, you have to assume it's still in the mare, and that means you need to call the vet. Because you see, if the placenta remains in the mare for longer than 4 to 6 hours, she's in danger of getting very sick. So, if you find the mare in the foal, but no placenta, no matter how hard you look, do not assume that it was just taken away by some animal. Twice, I had mares that either foaled standing up or got up very quickly after the foal was born and the umbilical cord broke really high and then everything slipped back into the mare. So no placenta, no membrane, nothing hanging out. Now, in one case, a couple of shots of oxytocin later and the whole thing was expelled. But in the other case, the vet had to gently remove it by hand. So don't give up on finding where that placenta went. It's probably the most important thing you can do for your mare. Back to the placenta in a normal setting. The less it's getting dragged around or stepped on, the easier it will be to check it. So make sure, that's why I say put it in a bucket so you can check it later. Because even a small fragment that was left behind can fester in the mare, fester and cause inflammation and infection. It can cause sepsis, laminitis, and yes, even death. Once that's taken care of and your mare is more comfortable, now might be a good time to wash her udder very well before the foal tries to suckle. Now, the udder will be full and tight, so be gentle. I just use a rag soaked in warm water. You don't need soap. You might also want to clean her up a little bit. Use a different rag and do a visual inspection of her vulva and the perineum area to check that there's no tear. Now, if there are some tears, don't panic. It's not an emergency. But let your vet know when you do give him the news. Next, absolutely you should dip the foal's navel with whatever solution your vet recommend. And then I usually just let the mare and the foal alone. Just step back. Your mare needs to bond with the foal and the foal needs to bond with her, learn to find its leg, and then find the milk bar. As the foal gets up and starts to investigate the mare, trying to find the udder, your mare might squeal quite a bit when the foal touches her, especially when they touch them in their lower flank, their belly. You know, that's fine. As long as she doesn't kick out, it's okay. You see, when the foal is tickling her with these long whiskers that they have, it triggers an oxytocin release, and that causes the uterus to contract. You will see the mare's flank contract when the foal is just kind of poking her around. It's perfectly normal, and that's often why they squeal a bit. It will diminish over time. It's worse in the first few hours. Now, some mare, especially with their first foal, they might want to keep the foal in front of them at all time. They kind of get obsessed with it. If your mare is one of those and she keeps moving away when the foal is close to her flank, you might want to hold her for the first few times. Just put her against the wall and give the foal a chance to find the milk and drink. If she's resistant or she won't let the foal drink, you need to employ stronger measures. That means getting help or calling your vet for advice. It's very important that the foal drinks in his first few hours, so that takes precedence over how your mare might feel. First day or so, you will find that your mare's very attentive to the foal. A lot of licking and nuzzling as it nurses, and overall just getting very familiar with its scent and its general body shape. They will walk around with their head at the level of the foal, and my best brood mare would steer them away from the fence or any obstacle with her neck. It's very cute. They will also be extremely vigilant. For that reason, I keep a halter on her mare at this point. If she was a little bit hard to catch to start with, maybe add a length of baling twine to the halter, just in case. Some mares' behavior change when they have a newborn foal. I call it the Dragon Mare phase. It can last from a day to a week or two, but don't be surprised to find your mare more agitated by anything out of the ordinary, vigilant, very alert. They will not want to see other horses too closely for a while, so if at all possible, keep them where she doesn't feel the need to constantly defend her foal. I've had some that seem to turn feral, meaning that if you leave them in the big field, you will not catch them. They will move constantly. So it's probably at first just in case to keep them in a small paddock. Because, too much running around is hard on the newborn foal, it's stressful on the mare, and on you. Now, maybe none of this will happen, but plan for it just in case. Better safe than sorry. Mares are on full instinct in those first few days to a week, and people are often a little bit concerned that their mare's temperament has changed. It's not permanent. She will quiet down. It'll take just a little bit of time. But I think it's good to warn you that it might not all be rainbows and butterflies at first. You see, hormones are in charge at this point, pure instinct, so don't take anything personally. Now, her appetite should be normal, but she might not pass manure for a day or two, and that's fine. But you can encourage her to drink a lot of water. Put water in her mash, give her some soaked beet pulp, add some salt, anything to encourage her to drink plenty so that her digestive tract gets back on track. Hey, by the way, if you find all this information useful, could you take a second to hit the like button? This really helps YouTube understand who gets value from my video and allow them to reach more people. Also, if you think somebody else might benefit from this information, you can share it with them with the share button. It's right down there, right beside the like one. Now, what can you expect in the following week after the birth? Well, at first you will find the mare very attentive to the foal, like I said, touching it a lot, but that goes away rather quickly. At first they will stop everything when the foal nurses, but as the foal gets a little bit older, they start to relax and move around a bit more. They'll continue grazing, for example, while the foal eats. At first, when the foal drops to sleep, they will stop. They will just stand guard over them. But within a week or two, they will continue to graze and move around while keeping an eye on them. They will continue to be very protective of them against other horses for a good 2 weeks, I find, on average, sometime a bit more. That's why I wait until week 3 to introduce them back to their previous herd. First of all, the foal is stronger and it's also more aware of the signal it's receiving from its mom and from other horses. It's like they're starting to get the lingo, like the horse lingo. Also, mom is far less reactive, and so it's just a little bit easier on everyone. You will notice your mare starting to get back to herself, more like what you knew her to be before. Still, she will not want to be separated from the foal or sense it being in any distress, so keep that in mind. And if you need to move the mare around, I find that the easiest thing is actually to control the foal and the mare will follow. If you do the opposite, if you move the mare, the foal starts running around, it doesn't have any discipline, and the mare starts to freak out if they lose sight of them. And by the way, try to prevent by any means the foal and the mare being separated by anything. The foal will literally go through things to get back to its mom. See, evolution has not planned for fences and wheelbarrow and water trough. They will hurt themselves trying to return to their dam, and it's very stressful for all. Now, after a few days, you should monitor your mare for discharge post-birth. The first few days, sometimes not much comes out and you think you're out of the wood, but as the uterus returns to its normal size and shape, you will find more discharge. Pink, dark pink, brown, beige, there should be no fresh blood and certainly no pus, nothing yellow and sticky. I try to keep their butt and tail clean so I can see if anything changed or if anything is out of the ordinary. I keep their tail braided for a few days. Sometime I will redo the braid, but generally after 4 days, I just brush it and keep it clean. If there was any small tear or bruise or even large tail, you will notice a lot of swelling around the vulva. It often peaks a few days post-foaling. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that mares delivering foals have a much easier time than women delivering babies. It's not really the same thing. Women are the worst at delivering their young. Most of the time, when a woman comes out of the delivery room, they feel that they've been hit by a truck. Not so with mares. You will find that if all went well, your mare will look amazing right away. If she's not acting normal, sound, active, bright and alert, hungry, 12 hours after birth, something is wrong. Normal birth and healthy mares look perfectly normal within hours of delivering their foals. The foal will get stronger every day, and at first your mare might not produce a lot of milk and you will find the foal constantly trying to drink. That is normal. The more the foal nurse, the more the milk production ramps up. Besides, foals are not calves. They only drink 6 to 8 ounces at a time, not liters at first. And that's also why they drink a lot more often than calves. You need to keep up and even ramp up your mare's feed intake over the next few weeks so she can continue to make good and abundant milk. They say that adding Guinness, the beer Guinness, and pure cocoa powder help with the milk production, by the way, if you're at all concerned. Now that your foal is a few weeks old, maybe 2 weeks old, perhaps you're wondering, what now? When should I start handling them? Well, I explain all this in detail, how I start handling my foals and why I do it the way I do in this video. So go watch that next, and I will see you on the next one.